Hello everybody, here we are at Old Town Quilt Shop in Orchid. As you can see, our hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 4. You can shop online at oldtownquiltshoporchid.com. If you need to email us, it's oldtownquiltshop@gmail.com. And our phone number is area code 805-938-5870. So we're just going to kind of wait a few minutes for some people to get on before we get into our little show tonight. We have lots of fabric to show you, a couple of books, and some holiday gift ideas for you to make for your friends, for your maybe your sewing friends, quilting friends, just other people, grandkids, kids, anyone in your life who needs a little gift and you want to do a homemade because you know you're home and you've got time to do these things.
Okay.
So
we've got.
All right, so it looks like we've got some people on. All right, so hello. Here we are. You may have seen our video yesterday. We did a live unboxing video. So we're going to show that fabric again, but we also got some other fabric in today. So we'll get to that first. Some of it's reorders and some of it is new stuff. So, all right, we're going to start here with batiks. Got to close the door. Sorry, I'll wait till the loud noise is done. Do. So we'll do my Vanna here.
Yeah. Janine, Holly, Lisa.
All right.
Bonnie.
Very good. Hello, everyone. Janine, Holly, Anissa, Bonnie. Jeff. Oh, hey, Jeff. I was thinking about you the other day. And Tracy. Okay, so Prisma Dyes by Robert Kaufman. So these are kind of like the basics or the blenders of batiks for Robert Kaufman. So we got Fog, which is kind of a gray color. It's got a little blue and yellow in there. And then Veggie. Those things that kids don't eat. The green ones. It has kind of a little bluish and yellowish cast in there. But, you know, they're kind of like watercolory. But like I said, you know, they're the basics or blenders of batiks. They kind of add just a little bit of movement, a little bit of texture to your quilts. So you can find those under all the new stuff and also in batiks. They're listed as Prisma Dyes. Okay. Those were new, but these two are reorders. We are getting them back in. So this is Quilter's Linen. Sorry, it's poking up there. Also by Robert Kaufman. So we have Platinum, which is a really light gray. Makes a great background if you want just a little bit of not white and texture. And then we have white as well. So it's Platinum and white in Quilter's Linen is what it's called. It is cotton, but they call it Quilter's Linen because it looks like linen. I don't know if you can see the texture in there, but it looks like a linen would. So those were reorders. We've had those before, so we finally were able to get those back in. And then new from Robert Kaufman is this paint box, and it's called Haze. It's Elizabeth Hartman, but it's kind of a light. We're going to use celery green. The color probably doesn't come through the way it's supposed to, but it's a really light celery green. I actually have it in grays because near some things it looks more gray. And it has a gray dot on it. And they're scattered and they're different sizes, so it's really nice that you don't have that linear dot going on in there. Also would make a great background or sashing if you just want something to make it pop a little bit without taking away from your other fabrics. And this actually is going to go with the fabric that we have coming up in a little bit. It would make another good companion fabric. Okay, Robert Kaufman, and that's Paint Box Haze is what that's called. Back in stock, finally, Kona Solids Graphite and Charcoal. So graphite is kind of a medium gray, and then charcoal is a much darker gray. It kind of has a brownish cast. I know it comes off a little bit different in your, you know, what you're looking at, and in the picture it did as well. I tried to adjust it, but they're both in the grays. They're just really dark grays. But anyway, Kona Solids back in stock finally. Good for guy masks. That's what we sold them for. For months, as long as we had them. Okay, also back in stock is this silver dot flannel. It's the cozy flannel, so it's a light gray background with a white dot. These are linear dots, but these would make a great backing for a quilt, a baby quilt, Robert Kaufman. And then these three, actually the yellow is back in stock too. It's just a solid yellow. These two though, I want to show you. This is really cute. These little bear faces. This guy is winking. He has his eyes closed. He has eyes open. So they're really cute. It's kind of a minty green. The one thing though is it is directional. So if you're using it for a back, you just have to make sure that you have it going in the right direction. And then we have this nice pink and gray floral. Get yours now because I'm getting some. I have a pink and gray quilt that I'm working on, and this is perfect for the back. So these are Cozy Flannels by Robert Kaufman. Listed under flannel. Type in Cozy Flannel, and pretty much all the Cozy Flannels that we have are going to be on there that are by Kaufman. Another flannel that we got in that we're pretty excited about, it's different for us, it's called Mammoth Flannel. It's also by Robert Kaufman, but what's nice about this is it's two-sided, so it's the same on both sides. What can you do with this? You can use it just as you would any other flannel, but we've also seen this made as a scarf. I think you can fray the edges to get kind of that fringe on the bottom of a scarf. These would make great shirts, a guy shirt or a girl shirt. It doesn't make any difference. It'd be cute, like a flannel top with a camisole underneath it, or button-down shirt for a guy. So these are really fun. So this is actually called Mammoth Flannel. So that's what it's under. It'll also just be under flannel, but if you want to look it up specifically, Mammoth Flannel is how you'll look that one up. Okay, so that's all of those. Now the fun part. So this is what we were unboxing, and we're pretty excited about this. And let me just show you why we're excited about this. This is what we saw first. And we went, oh my gosh, we love this. Both my mom and I and Dolores, we all said, wow, we want to make it. Okay, well, we looked at the yardage and went, we have to get the whole collection. So here we are with the whole collection, and it is fabulous. So this is by Art Gallery, and let me tell you, I was cutting the fat quarters today. I love the hand feel of their fabrics. It's just so, I call it rich. If you're familiar with Kaffe Fassett fabrics, they're a little thinner and they're a little drapier, but the Art Gallery, it has a good drape, but it's not quite as thin as a Kaffe. It has a little more structure to it. It just has a really good, nice feel to it. And I was, cutting the fat quarters going, oh, these are just luscious. And I've worked with Art Gallery fabrics before. I did a quilt over the summer and using all Art Gallery, and I just love how they stitch up. It's really nice. They hold their shape. They don't fray as much as some others do. So we're going to start. We're going to show you the collection. We're going to try something new. I don't know if it's going to work. We might just laugh and be like, oh, you're not doing that again. So we're going to start with this one. And it's got these really pretty flowers. I'm going to laugh the whole time. So it's got these really pretty flowers on a cream background. Great for fussy cutting, or if you just want a little something on your fabric, but you don't want it to be, too much. So we have that one. And then there's this guy with the birds. Also that same kind of creamy background with a gray-blue bird going all through it. I can't do the whole little moving around thing. Yeah. But it's kind of like two different tones of the birds. It's kind of a light blue-gray and then a really light gray on there. And these are all low volume, what's considered low volume. So they're all very light. Nothing super dark, although we have some darker things to pair with it to show you. This is probably the darkest fabric in there. So this is a great beige. It's little squares with a dot in the center, and this would make great sashing on some of your other quilts, or a nice background even, depending on what you're pairing it with. And then we have slightly more contemporary. Now this is, the name of this collection is called Fusions Serenity. Should have done that first. And the reason it's called Fusions is because it's a collection of like 3 or 4 different designers who have designed a few pieces for the collection. So that's why some things kind of look a little bit different. You've got the florals and the birds, but then you've also got this more geometric design here. So it's different designers coming together to make one collection, which is kind of pretty cool. So that, you know, it's called Serenity, but it's a Fusions. They have several different Fusions collections, you know, with the different designers. Serenity because it's nice and serene and calm.
In this political time.
Yes, especially in this these times that we're in right now. So you kind of have like a little southwestern look to it, but geometric with the arrows there. And it's a nice, I was searching for a word earlier, but it's like a celery, or I think celadon is another kind of a light green. It's not quite minty. It has a lot of gray to it. So that's that one. And then you've got a really nice stripe, which kind of combines all of the colors in the line with the nice, you know, beige in there and the gray. And then you've got some deeper tones of that green. And then you've got kind of a more of a minty green. So this one kind of pulls everything together. It's a nice stripe that runs selvage to selvage. So if you can see that, very pretty. Okay, and then this dot. So you'll notice that it kind of is, you know, a lightly scattered dot and then a little bit more dense. So this runs across the fabric. The selvage is at the top, so you can get an entire strip of like the dense dots or the less dense dots. So just keep that in mind, you know, if you're purchasing this to cut. But this is kind of one of the brighter fabrics in there. This one I would consider more of a minty green, but still has a little bit of that gray in it. But a really nice, you know, it's the white or creamy white dot going through it. So it's very pretty. And then again, back to the kind of the geometrics, almost like a feather going through there. And this is a light beige tan on a cream background. And then we have the kind of more gray blue in there with these kind of hash marks that create circles and then the little X's going through it. So again, kind of a more contemporary look to it, combined with something like this next one, a little bit more traditional. So these are like wreaths made out of leaves. And I measured these, and these would be perfect to make a 6.5 inch square. I'll give you a flat one so you can actually see it. So it would fit, if you were to cut a 6.5 inch square, you know, fussy cut it, it would fit right in there. So you would get the full thing in that square. So great for fussy cutting, or if you wanted to cut a 6.5 inch strip for a border, that would be fun too, to have that whole thing going through. Lots of different ways that you could use this. But it's a nice, soft, larger print, you know, a larger scale print. And it's got that real light celery green background to it. And kind of brings in all the different colors again. You know, the tan and the kind of the grayish, and then the other kind of greens in there, the deeper and the lighter. This is the one that I think looks like the wind in when you watch the weather on the news. So it's all arrows going in all different directions, and it's in that kind of darker gray green on a creamy background. So it's just a fun, you know, it could be a background fabric. And then again, with the contemporary, you've got the arrows going across, and you could use it as, you know, a stripe, you know, as a border. Just lots of fun ways to use these. And it's on that light celery green background, and then the darker gray green. And then just a basic kind of pluses or X's, whichever one you know, some are pluses and some are X's, depending on how you're looking at it. A nice basic, so if you're just looking for a color with not a lot going on in it, this would be a really great fabric for that. Okay, and then solids to go with it. So this is a cream. It's actually called white linen, but it's really a creamy, kind of a creamy fabric. And this is an art gallery fabric. We did purchase it with the collection. But then we also paired it with a Kona biscuit is the name of this one. So it just kind of brings in that darker, you know, that brown that you've got in the stripe, and then you've also got it in those feathers, and you've got it in the wreath. So it just really brings all of that in if you're looking for some kind of a pop. And you'll notice in the pattern that we showed you, there is kind of that darker brown in there to help pop it. And then in addition to the brown, we also chose this other darker green, which probably really just does not show very well.
More blue.
Yeah, it really is more of a green. I think they call it teal. It's like a really dark teal. But again, it's kind of like the darker version of the sages and the mints in there. I know it doesn't come across in there. The lighting is not ideal, but if you're looking for something that has a little bit more to it, if you don't want the low volumes.
So on the pattern, if you don't want the brown, you could go with that color.
You could, if you didn't want the brown, you could go with that color. And this darker color really is not as dark as what it shows. But this is a free downloadable pattern on Art Gallery's website. And in the newsletter, I have a link to go directly to the pattern so you can download it and print it yourself. So if you like this collection, or if you've got some other fabrics that you think you would like with it, you could use this. Now the one thing about this is it has templates. I know, templates, and we looked at it and went, oh, templates. However, there is a however. When we kind of put some of the pieces together, and they don't exactly match some of the ruler sizes that we have. The 60-degree diamond you might be able to use, the super sidekick you maybe could use, the 60-degree triangle ruler you could use. But when you kind of put them together, they don't quite match the sizes. But you can see the shape in there. And what you can do is take those, take whatever ruler you're going to use. You can actually take this template and cut it out and tape it to your ruler, or just tape off where you need to cut, and easily use any other ruler, as opposed to trying to use template plastic and trimming off a little sliver every time you cut it, or it's shifting or something. So don't be afraid just because something says templates. There's usually a way to make it work with your existing rulers. So there's not really any specific ruler that you need to purchase to do these. You could also use, your long 24-inch ruler and use like the 60-degree line on there to cut some of these angles, because that's really what they are, is just a 60-degree line. So don't be afraid just because it says templates. I know we weren't. So if you're interested in a kit for this, so the finished size, I know you guys are probably asking, what's the finished size on this? It's big. It's 80 by 83. So it's a really good size bed quilt. It could fit on a double bed easily. You could probably enlarge it if you wanted to put it on, to have the drape on a queen, or enlarge it to make it a king, if you really want to. But 80 by 83 is a really good size bed quilt. So this would be great as a wedding quilt, or even like a guy quilt, or if you just need something that's calming and relaxing. Maybe someone lives by the ocean and they want something that's in ocean colors. These would be great ocean colors. So again, you can download this pattern on Art Gallery Fabrics. If you want a kit of this, it's going to work out to be about $120. And we include the pattern in the kit. So we've already, we'll have it all printed out for you. It's like 17 pages. So we'll have it all printed out for you in the kit, ready to go. So if you want one, please let us know. I don't have it on the website yet. I might have it by tomorrow. But just shoot us an email. Say, hey, I'm interested in the Pacific kit, or the Serenity kit, whatever you want to call it. We'll know what you're talking about, and we'll put one together for you. But we also feel that this fabric would work well in several other different patterns. So we wanted to show you some of the other ones. And by the way, again, this is Fusions Serenity, Art Gallery Fabrics. It's in all the new, or if you just type in Fusions Serenity, everything in here will come up and you'll see it all in there. So, but we think that it's going to go great with some of these other patterns. The Tessa quilt, it would be a nice low volume quilt in here. You could use a brown in here, or that darker teal, the cream for the sashings. So the Tessa quilt, I think it'd make a great ripple quilt. Get a pop of that brown in there, or just do all low volume. I think that would be fabulous. ribbon candy, if you just picked one of the greens and you did the cream and maybe the brown, or not the brown, two of the greens. You know, this uses, I believe, strips, but it would still be easy to convert that. No, it uses yardage. So, you know, super easy to put together. I mean, you can pick 3 fabrics. It's not that hard. And then a couple of So Kind of Wonderful quilts, the Metro Waves. It would make a fabulous low volume, calming. You got that ocean theme again going on. Or the Metro Rings, like I said, for a wedding quilt. You know, wedding rings are kind of the classic wedding gift. It does use strips, but it would be easy to figure out, you know, how to convert that to the actual fabric. Again, it would be a nice, calming, relaxing bed quilt for someone who's getting married. So anyways, that's Fusions Serenity. We were super excited to get this line in. You may have seen our excitement.
Our normal.
Yeah, it's not our normal, and what's kind of different about it is it combines that traditional, you know, you've got that floral right off the bat, and people are probably going, what? We would never see that in your shop. But then you've also got those more contemporary, you know, the arrows and the X's and, you know, things like that. So it's combining all of those things to make this really great collection. And then using a more modern pattern, or you could put it in something that's a little bit more traditional too. So it kind of goes both ways. It's just a really neat line of fabric. And I really like art gallery fabrics and patterns too. If you've not perused their website, or if you don't follow them, I follow them on Instagram. They have some really great patterns. They have a lot of clothing patterns, because they do like knits and rayons as well. But they just have a lot of really fun, interesting, a little bit more contemporary type patterns and feel to their fabrics. So if you've not checked Art Gallery out, you should check them out. And this would be a great time to kind of sample their fabrics and how they feel, because they all feel like that. And you have to come in and just feel them and touch them and go, ooh, ah. And say, I can't wait to use that in a quilt. I can't wait to get started on this. Okay, so enough about that. A couple things that we forgot to do last week because we were just so busy with everything else that we did. A couple of books. So we have Sweet Tooth and Best of Cozy, and both of these, so this one is actually just Daniela Stout, and this one is Cozy Quilt. But Daniela Stout is, you know, one of the owners of Cozy Quilt Designs, and they're famous for their strip tube ruler. And I think all of their patterns use pre-cuts, whether it's 5-inch charms, 10-inch squares, or 2.5-inch strips, or even fat quarters. You know, that's kind of their thing, is using pre-cuts. So everything in this book uses pre-cuts, and there's some really nice quilts in here. And then the bonus is that every quilt they don't have a recipe, which I'm really bummed about, but you know, they're all named after a little dessert that they have here. So loaf cake, and then they have this one is electric mixer, and then there was another one, a snack attack with some cookies, and we love this one. Dolores and I were looking and went, oh, I like that. You know, it's got a bundt cake on it, dripped icing. So it's kind of fun. I was thinking, dessert club, but kind of like breakfast club, only dessert, and have desserts with it. Yummy yummies. And then Best of Cozy. So what this is, strip club edition. So what this is, and both of these have 6 patterns each. What this one does is have patterns that use all 2.5-inch strips. There are color pictures in here, don't worry. But all of them use 2.5-inch strips, and 3 of the ones in here use their strip tube ruler, and this is unique to them. And what this does is, you can kind of see, you make a tube. So you make a strip set, and then you put a solid over it, and then you cut a half square triangle with it. And then you open it up, and you've got a half square triangle square, you know, with strips on one side and then solid on the other. Really ingenious. And you don't just have to use it with their books. Actually, in Ripple, we've used it in Ripple, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Is you would combine this strip set with this solid, you know, as a triangle. You'd kind of sew them all together, right sides together, both sides. So you've got essentially a tube, and then you cut it and open it up, and you've got those on both sides. So 3 of the patterns in here specifically use the strip tube ruler, and they all use 2.5-inch strips. So you might recognize Trade Winds. We did this as a class a couple of years ago. Sold the quilt. So there's all kinds of fun patterns in here. So if you're looking for something easy, fun, these are great. And then of course the strip tube ruler, and we have quite a few patterns that use the strip tube ruler, and we've ordered some more patterns of the cozy quilt design just because we really like them. They're all very easy to do. Okay, so that concludes the product segment of what we're doing. Do we have any questions so far?
No, there's no questions, but do the book 30.
Oh, okay. And I put it in the newsletter too. But when you order books on our website, you can use the code BOOK30, so that's BOOK30, and you get 30% off of our books, and that's all the time. And if you're in the store, we give it to you automatically. So that's those. So that makes them really a good price. This one's $23.95 and $19.95, so 30% off of that, and each of them has 6 patterns in it. So it's a really good deal for 6 patterns. Okay, product is done. Now we just have a couple of ideas since holidays are coming. You might be thinking about gifts for your quilty friends or for kids or grandkids or just anybody in general. So we've come up with just a couple of items that we think would make great gifts. So let me take the little sign off here so you can see it. So this is just in case. So this is the pattern, and then this is the case, and you open it up, and it's got magnet closure there. But it's really neat because it has all these little pockets, and you use the mesh, and there's vinyl and zippers. Do not be intimidated by zippers. They are not difficult. Easy. So you've got several different pockets, so this would be great for a little pencil case. If you've got like kind of all your marking pens that you need to keep organized. I know some people have used this as like a travel makeup case or jewelry case. You could do all vinyl in here if you wanted to, or all mesh, whatever you wanted to do. And it has different sizes. So this is the small case, which is 7 inches by 6 inches by 2 inches deep. Or the large case, which is 10.5 by 8. So, they kind of show you on here, a little pen, and I don't know what that is, a pattern or a travel guide or something. And they use fat quarters, so it makes it really simple. And then just a couple of zippers and some interfacing, and then choose, mesh and vinyl, which we have here in the shop. So these are kind of fun little gifty things for travel. The ever popular project bag. So it also comes in many, many sizes, small, medium, large, and jumbo. We have done this class ad nauseum. But what's great about these, you've got the zippered pouch. It's got that clear vinyl plastic in the front. And these are so versatile. So I have 2, 3 at home. I've got like marking pens. I put little scissors in there. I've got just the little doodads, seam ripper, the things that you kind of keep close to you all the time. I've got all those in there. I have another one that has the zipper on the top that I put my rotary cutters into. I think I have another one for something else, like smaller rulers. I think it also goes this way. I've got smaller rulers in there, like my corner clipper, my cut right binding tool. So this size is really versatile. It would make a great pencil case for maybe kiddos who are at home doing Zoom or even in the classroom and they need a place to keep their little things all together. You could use sewing fabric, you could use kids fabric, you could use pretty fabric, you could use ugly fabric that you just want to get rid of. It doesn't really matter. Old blocks, yeah, if you've got some orphan blocks, they'd be great, on the back or in the front, either way. So that one's the small one. I think this might be medium, 10.5 by 12.5.
The original pattern only had the 3 sizes.
Yeah. And I think the little one was supposed to have a handle too. Our little one doesn't have a handle. Because if it's meant to be like a pencil case or something, you probably really wouldn't want a handle. However, with the larger ones, we did put a handle on. And again, you know, it's the zipper with the vinyl, the plastic. And then they show it different ways to do the bottom. You can do just a strip of fabric. You know, these larger ones have this little bottom on here. Just one long strip of fabric, or you can do multiple strips. So if you've got, you know, some leftovers, some scraps of previous projects, that would be a great way to use some of those on there. You could make them all different sizes. They don't all have to be the same. Again, large focus fabrics that you want to keep whole. These would be good. And then this might be the large 13.5. And then there's the jumbo, which is 16.5. My thought on this one, as we were looking at these, I thought, oh, this would be a great little going to grandma's bag. So if you've just got, you know, a change of clothes and toothbrush or something, you know, it'd be kind of cute for that. Or going to Gigi's. Zipper and the vinyl, and you know, this is that heavier vinyl. And again, with the bottom, you could do, you know, do one strip, or you could do multiple. And the pattern gives you that option on there. I think they kind of show it in the front too, you know, with the strips or with the, you know, just one whole fabric. And these are great. And they also use just fat quarters. And then of course zipper, they use the soft and stable, and the vinyl, which of course we have everything for it. So okay, questions on those? Further comments?
There were a couple of questions. How do we sign up for the newsletter?
Oh, give us your email. Give us a call.
You'll have to say the question.
Okay, so if you want to sign up for our newsletter, email us at oldtownquiltshop@gmail.com and say, I want to sign up for the newsletter, and we'll put you on there. And we send it weekly, so right after the Facebook Live video, I upload this video to YouTube, and then I put a link in our newsletter to that YouTube video so that everybody can see it, not just Facebook people, and we send it every week. And it includes links to everything that we've talked about here on the video, so you won't miss out, you know, if you don't happen to catch us live. And any other news or things that we talk about, all go in the newsletter. And it'll be a good way to find out, you know, when we start classes and that sort of thing. You can also go to the website, oldtownquiltshoporchid.com, and I think there's a contact us, and you can just put in there, please add me to your newsletter. But the quickest way really is to just email us and let us know. Or you can give us a call if you want to chat with us. We're happy to do that too. Okay, a couple of other little gifts. If you've got some kiddos going back to school, or you have teachers going back to school, or anybody, this is a cute little pouch. So it actually is a panel that you make into this pouch. So it's just got the zipper top. It's a very simple little fabric pouch, and it is suitable for kids. You know, a child could do it themselves. I would probably say maybe 8 and up with supervision, you know, especially with the zipper. But definitely a kid could do this. But these would make great gifts for kids too, and maybe get them interested in sewing. And then a pillowcase. So again, this is a panel that you make into a pillowcase. And if you're familiar with making pillowcases, you do it in hot dog style. I don't know if you can see that, but this is the panel. I'll show you the real deal. Make sure we have it going properly. So the panel comes with everything you see here. It's actually all one piece. Then you cut the pink off, and you cut the pink trim off, and then you sew them all together, kind of hot dog style, to make this great pillowcase. So this would fit, you know, your standard pillow. It's a little bit bigger than a standard, but still it works. So it'd be great, you know, a great gift for a little kid, a young girl. Also, kids could make this. So if they're, you know, doing introductory sewing, this would be a wonderful thing to make that they can, you know, then sleep on every night and say, I made that, and have sweet dreams. It's just plain on the back, so only the one side has the words. It's just plain, but it's, you know, got the little trim on there. The pattern does not have you do French seams so that you don't have open seams, so it does have open seams. However, you could do French seams if you're familiar with that, so that you wouldn't have the raw edges on the inside. But I made it as the pattern says so that you can see, because that's what we do here. Okay, any further questions, comments? Nothing? All right. So next week, depending on what we have fabric-wise, we might do a demo. We'll see. I know you guys are asking about classes. We've had a lot of questions about classes. Not till after the new year at the very least. Of course, we'll have the Nebula classes. That's the, you know, the monthly block of the month class. So we'll be doing that for sure. As far as the other classes, we'll kind of, you know, have to see how things go. We'll talk about doing, you know, Zoom classes maybe, but you can always come in and sew in the classroom when we have open days, and pretty much every Tuesday is open, and like every other Wednesday seems to be open. But you can look on our website. It's up to date through the end of the year. Don't look past that. I haven't updated past that. And it's $10 per person for the day from 10 to 4. You know, we limit it to 10 people so that everybody gets really 12 feet of space. You know, a 6-foot table plus another 6-foot table next to you, your own chair. We've got the ironing stations, or you can, you know, definitely bring your own. So, you know, get your group of girls together and come in and sew in person. Okay. I guess if that's it, then again, if you're interested in the kit for the Serenity fabric, that Pacific kit, for the time being, just shoot us an email, let us know, or comment on Facebook that you're interested, and we'll take care of it. I don't have it yet in the computer. Kind of want to see how many people really want it before we put it in there. But it'll probably be about $120, and that includes all of the fabric for the top and the binding, as well as the pattern that we'll have already printed out for you. So, and that's a free downloadable pattern on Art Gallery Fabrics.
And Jeff says guys can come and sew too.
And guys can come and sew too. Yes, definitely. And guys are welcome into the shop. We won't even announce that there's a guy in the shop. You can just come in. There's nothing strange about it. Okay. All right. Well, if that's it, then I guess until next week for the video, and just keep watching for fun stuff that we throw out there. Have a great day.